Thanksgiving, our producer Angie's birthday, exams, projects. These past few weeks have been non-stop. I'm cold, I'm tired, but we're almost at the end of the semester. The Big 5 Classic is Saturday. Tomorrow is the first day of December, and I'm finally seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. Hello, I'm Megan Cooney.
And I'm Charlie Hugg. If you feel like you hear us complain about how we're over everything each week, it's probably because we do. And with 1 week left in the semester, this will be no exception. But boy, oh boy, is this a great way to distract us from all the work that we have piled up. So let's just get into some sports, shall we? You're watching Salle TV's home for Explorer Athletics, SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. We have the Big 5 Classic coming up, cross country is back from the championships, and swimming and diving cleaned up at the Fall Frenzy.
We also had the chance to talk to a couple members of the cross country team to talk about their season.
But first, let's take a look at our SportsLine top 3.
Number 1, senior field hockey player Tatum Johnson was named to the National Field Hockey Coaches Association Division I senior team for the 2023 season. Johnson led the team to their best record in over 40 years with a 13-6 record and an appearance in the A-10 semifinals for the first time since 2011. Johnson finished the season with 10 goals, 6 assists, and 26 points.
Number 2, men's basketball coach and legendary Philly sports figure Fran Dunphy won his 600th career game on Sunday. The team's 81-62 win over Coppin State made Dunphy just the 43rd Division I coach to ever reach the 600-win milestone.
Number 3, Andrea Savoca has been named this week's NovaCare Student Athlete of the Week. The freshman swimmer broke the school record twice in the men's 100-yard breaststroke at the Fall Frenzy.
All right, so some pretty cool things happening in top 3 this week. First of all, congratulations to Fran Dunphy on his 600th win. That's absolutely insane. Philly sports legend for sure. He's coached and assisted at many major of the Big 5, and so 600 wins is absolutely crazy. And to only be the 43rd in Division I coaches' history is absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, that may seem like a big number, but then when you put into perspective how many coaches have coached in Division I, he's definitely cemented himself as one of the best, and it's just such a pleasure to have him here at LaSalle. Also want to congratulate Tatum Johnson for her award that she won. Totally deserving of it. That's another name that we've mentioned probably close to every show that we've had so far. Cannot give her enough accolades. She's had a great season, and she definitely deserved that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see her wrapping up her senior season, and with that big honor. So I'm really happy for her. And then Andrea Savoca with the breaking his record twice. So he broke the record for the men's 100 meter and then broke his own record later in the same in the Fall Frenzy. That's absolutely crazy. So not only did you break it once, but then you went and broke your own record in the finals. So congratulations to him, because that's insane.
Yeah, especially as a freshman. We've talked a lot about them. We have more of them coming up in this show too. A lot of talent on there, and especially those young guys, a freshman breaking his own record, a school record twice. Hopefully he has a very bright future ahead of him, and so does the team. So
definitely, and swimming and diving is just getting started. I feel like we've seen so many great things from them so far this season, and they're really just getting started. So really looking forward to what they have in store.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it for the top 3. Now let's see how our teams did in this week's recaps. Men's basketball has been busy these past 2 weeks. The men first took on Southern Indiana on Saturday, November 18th. The Eagles put up a tough fight for the Explorers, with the final score coming to 79-78 in favor of the Explorers. It was another great game for Khalil Brantley with a career-high 30 points. Deshaun Shepard came to play as well, dropping 17 points and 8 rebounds. Anwar Gill and Rokas Yoshis contributed 9 points each, while Gill had 6 assists as well. This was the Explorers' 4th straight win of the season. It was then off to Duke to take on the Blue Devils. Duke opened the game strong with an 11-2 run, but a 3-pointer from Jameer Brickus and points from Anwar Gill and Rokas Yoshis put the deficit to 11-9. The Explorers stayed with them for the rest of the half thanks to a team-high 9 points from Gill and a dunk from Deshaun Shepard that put the score at 37-39 close to the half. The Blue Devils went on a 12-2 run, however, to start the second half, and the Explorers just couldn't keep up. They fell to Duke 95-66, the first loss of the season. The men had a short 5-day break before taking on Coppin State back at Tom Gola. It was a slow first half for the Explorers, with Anwar Gill carrying the team, scoring 13 of their initial 17 points. The Explorers snapped back, however, and went on a 15-4 run to close the half. They continued to hold an at least 8-point buffer from then on. A three-pointer from Andreas Mario stretched the margin to double digits, and the Explorers pulled out yet another win with a score of 81-62. Let's take a look at what Fran Dunphy had to say after the game.
Well, the number doesn't mean a lot to you. Does having what Anwar just said to you about yourself mean more to you?
Yeah, I mean, I've coached so many guys in my lifetime. Every one of them has been great. He's a great guy. I love coaching him. I love fussing at him too when he puts his head down and gets in a different neighborhood. We're not doing that. Stay focused. But he's a good guy, and I'm happy he's playing for us.
Coach Dunphy, what do you think of the rebounding effort tonight? Anwar mentioned that it was much better than in past games this season.
Yeah, I mean, our numbers were great on the rebounds. Offensive rebounds, we had 20 of them, which is very special. We can do a good job in that regard. We get extra possessions for our team. It really wears on the opposition when you do that. So that's a great opportunity for us. And again, Rokas did a good job there. Anwar got 4 offensive rebounds, which was great. Need to get Ship in there to do a little more of that too, because he's so athletic. But it was a good effort rebounding last time.
We asked a couple weeks ago about the next game in the Big 5 tournament being at Temple. You weren't ready to talk about it yet. It was a couple weeks away. Now it's kind of mixed up. Is there any extra feeling for you headed back there?
Well,
the game, having some eating and all that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, I spent all those years at Penn, I spent all those years at Temple. When you play them, I mean, it's something that it's not easy. Last year we played Temple at the Palestra. We didn't do so well. Now we're going to Temple to play. It wears on you a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I will think about that a little bit, but as soon as the ball goes up, I'm thinking about our guys playing as well as we can, and then doing a good job Wednesday and doing a good job Saturday, and then we'll move on to the next assignment.
LaSalle then faced Temple for a Philadelphia Big 5 Classic last night. Throughout the first half, both teams went head-to-head. As the second half was winding down, the Explorers looked like they were out of it with 1 minute and 39 seconds to go. The Owls were up 70-62. It wasn't until 5 seconds left a key three-pointer from Jameer Brickus would send the game into overtime. Brickus went 13 for 27 from the floor, 4 for 7 from the three, and 11 for 12 from the free throw line, for a total of 41 points. This broke former Explorer Steve Black's record set in 1983 against the Owls. Khalil Brantley would also have a big night, playing the entire 55 minutes of the game, delivering 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists, which would set a new career mark for rebounds for a single game. The duo combined for 70 of the 99 Explorer points. In the second overtime, LaSalle was up 3 late, but a three-pointer would push the game into a third overtime. In the third overtime, key LaSalle players fouled out, committing 2 turnovers, which they were unable to recover from, and LaSalle would lose 99-106.
The women's basketball team kept their season going over the break with a matchup against Ryder on Tuesday. It took almost 3 minutes for the game for the first points to be scored, but it wouldn't be long before freshman Laia Monclova sank a 3 to give the Explorers a 7-4 lead. With the help of Michaela Miller and her 5 straight points that followed, the Explorers would never look back. Junior Gabby Turco would lead a run of her own, finishing the first quarter with 10 points and giving the Explorers a 20-6 lead. A slew of Explorers would put LaSalle up as much as 23 in the second quarter, including some help from Molly Massantonio on her way to a season-high 7 points. After taking a 19-point lead into half, efforts from Tiara Bolden and Fiona Connolly would give the Explorers a 55-33 lead at the end of the third. Nicole Melius would hit 3 threes in the fourth quarter to keep her spot at the top of the Explorers' scoring chart this season, and the Explorers would ultimately win the game 72-44. After that, it was off to the Palestra to take on the Penn Quakers. The Quakers were off to a quick start, scoring 7 unanswered points in the first quarter. Jolene Armendariz would get right back in it from hitting a 3 from deep to put the Explorers within 3. Michaela Miller was able to score 7 points in the first frame of play, keeping LaSalle with the Quakers by the end of the first as they were down 20-23. Early in the second, LaSalle got their first lead 25-23 from an Armendariz three-pointer and a layup by Tiara Bolden. Midway through the second quarter, the Quakers would make their way back on top, but not before the Explorers were able to minimize the lead to 44-40. Miller picked up where she left off with a driving layup in the second half to cut Penn's lead down to 3. The Explorer efforts were made to take the lead, but it wouldn't be enough, and LaSalle would lose 79-71.
Swimming and diving participated in the West Virginia Invitational from November 17th to the 19th. Lucas DeCaney and Sam Henninger finished in the top 15 in the men's 1-meter dive. DeCaney finished with a final score of 287.55, and Henninger finished with a score of 259.30. DeCaney also placed 7th in the men's 3-meter dive with a score of 266.90. For the women, Tiffany Braun finished in 13th for the 1-meter dive with a score of 235.45. She would also take the gold for women's platform diving with a score of 231.45. It was then time to head to Queen's University of Charlotte for the Fall Frenzy. Andrea Savoca was the star of the competition, breaking the LaSalle record in the men's 100-yard breaststroke with a time of 54.02 seconds, and then going on to break his own record in the finals with a time of 53.76 seconds. Tony Rafferty took 4th place for the women's 50-yard freestyle with a time of 23.46 seconds. The Explorers relay teams dominated all year with the relay team of Tony Rafferty, Tori Fenn, Carlito Ongo, and Rosalia Marin Martinez finishing 6th with a time of 3 minutes and 46.57 seconds. For the men, the team of James Bowen, Andrea Savoco, Wes Miles, and Carter Perkins also took 6th with a time of 3 minutes and 22.21 seconds. Moving on to the 200-yard medley relay, the women's team comprised of Lauren Fenn, Carlito Ungo, Tori Fenn, and Tony Rafferty finished 4th with a time of 1 minute and 43.57 seconds. The men finished 5th in the relay with a time of 1 minute and 31.10 seconds, thanks to the team of James Bowman, Andrea Savoco, Zach Miller, and Carter Perkins. Tori Fenn and Andrea Savoco both had strong individual performances in the 100-yard butterfly, finishing 9th and 6th, and sophomore Gabby Herberter swam to a 6th place finish in the 400-yard IM championship with a time of 4 minutes and 24.63 seconds. By the time the weekend came to a close, the women would have finished in 7th place and the men would finish in 6th overall.
Sophomore McCallum Rowe and senior Tyanga Mbambo ended their 2023 season at the 2023 NCAA Cross Country Championship hosted by the University of Virginia. Mbambo finished 128th out of 255 student athletes with a time of 30 minutes and 47 seconds, and Rowe would finish 160th at a pace of 31 minutes and 11 seconds. The Explorers will now shift to their indoor track and field season in a few short weeks. All right, I'll give you a second to catch your breath after all that. But
yeah,
the first thing I want to talk about is that the men's basketball game last night. We'll get to Duke. That was a whole thing on its own, but I could do an entire show on that game last night. That was one of the most intense games I've seen in a long time in any sport. Triple overtime, great efforts by the Killer Bees. That's why we give them that nickname, is because they show up every single game.
Right.
Brickish with 41 points. He was just dominant the entire game. They just couldn't stop him until the end, of course. Brantley playing all 55 minutes, that's crazy to me. I would not have the stamina for that, so a lot of props to him. But again, great game from him. A few missed free throws at the end that people might bring up, but I mean, playing 55 minutes, you can't expect to make those all. I can't even imagine how tired he was, but just a great battle. A good team that they put up a great fight with. So nothing to be upset about at all. It was a great game.
No, definitely. I think that what we've learned from these 4 games that we missed over these past 2 weeks for the Thanksgiving is that men's basketball is keeping up with these bigger teams. Like, yes, you mentioned the loss to Duke was kind of a tough one, but we stayed with them in the first half, and yes, Duke's an amazing team, and just going up against them, and the score wasn't as close as I feel like we would have liked to see, but it wasn't an incredibly wide deficit that we lost by. And even triple overtime against Temple, triple overtime, we stuck with them the entire game. And like you said, you'll have people that'll be like, oh, there was a couple missed free throws, or I know a lot of our major players fouled out, so that is what maybe led to our loss in the end. But I definitely feel like they gave their best, and they've been giving their best all season, and I'm really excited to see where they go from here.
Sure. And I'd also like to bring up a Sports Center top 10, number 3 from Deshaun Shepard on a alley-oop. They said the 6'6", forward made it 12 and a half feet up the backboard. So I don't know, that's something else I wanted to point out. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, jumping double his height is something that's absolutely kind of remarkable.
For sure.
So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, SportsLine reporter Riley Kopchak sat down with members of the cross-country team. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Joanna Van Fine, class of 2007, and you're watching LaSalle 56.
It's Salle TV.
Oh, right, of course. All right, I'll do it again. Hi, I'm Joanna Van Fine, class of 2007, and you're watching LaSalle 56. You're watching LaSalle 56. Oh, God. Hi, I'm Joanna Van Fine, class of 2007, and you're watching LaSalle 56. Can't do it. Hi, I'm Joanna Van Fine, class of 2007, and you're watching LaSalle 56. Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Joanna Van Fine, class of 2007, and you're watching LaSalle 56.
It's right behind you.
LaSalle 56.
TV.
LaSalle TV 6. LaSalle 56. And you're watching LaSalle 56. LaSalle 56. And you're watching LaSalle 56.
You're old.
Hey! And you're watching LaSalle TV. I did it. I did it. I'm not old.
Welcome back to SportsLine. Reporter Riley Kopchak sat down with Christine Mancini, Tiango Mbambo, and McCallum Rowe. Take a look.
Welcome to On the Sideline. I'm Riley, and today I'm joined by LaSalle's cross-country team. So we're going to go right into it. I'm going to start with Christine. Why did you start running, and then mainly start running for LaSalle's cross-country and track?
So I started running when I was in kindergarten, actually, so a long time ago. And mostly because, I have 3 older sisters who also are runners, and my mom put all 4 of us in it at the same time because it was the only sport that she could send all 4 of us to that had the same practice. And then I just sort of stuck with it. My oldest sister, Grace, chose LaSalle when I was a freshman in high school. And then 2 years later, my sisters, Elle and Liz, also chose LaSalle to run. And so it felt like the obvious choice for me. Also, LaSalle has a great nursing program, and I was pretty set on doing nursing. And not many Division I schools allow you to do nursing and run cross-country, indoor, and outdoor track. So that was something that I really liked about LaSalle. Also, of course, our head coach, Tom Peterson, my sisters loved him. I feel like everyone on the team loves him, and so he was a big reason I chose LaSalle as well.
Yeah, LaSalle definitely, their background, definitely has a good, this season alone, everyone had a good cross-country season, and then last season, track season, everything just looks good. It's all lining up good. You guys looked all great, so good job for this season. So I'm going to go to Mac. How do you stay motivated when you don't necessarily want to run that day?
I think it's just a matter of discipline, just constantly just keeping at it. You do have days where you're like, oh, this is gonna suck, or this is not gonna be fun. But I think it's just a matter of just having the long-term kind of horizon of the season in mind, and just being and knowing that in the moment it's not gonna be great, but it's gonna keep progressing and it's gonna keep getting better. And you have races where your teammates, yourself, your coaches, and family are relying upon you, and so just kind of keeping that in the background of your head is kind of what helps you keep going forward.
Was there a specific reason why you chose LaSalle to run it?
I think I was definitely pulled here because the team environment, the men's team and girls team get along really well. We all just have a lot of fun. The coaches are just also great people. And also, one of the things I was conscious of is Tonga had come here as a New Zealander. And I think seeing someone else from my same country go all the way to the States and having him there just kind of I guess provide an example of how you can do such a thing was also kind of cool. And yeah, it was just having that kind of similarity. And yeah.
Okay, you achieved so much this season. So again, congratulations to you. And do you think having a good coaching mentality and a good team mentality really helped you push through?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it just makes those everyday kind of easier in a sense. There's less. It's just you walk in there and you're immediately in an environment that is supporting and positive. And so yeah, it's just you don't think twice really.
And then two, What has been your best running experience this season alone at LaSalle? Has there anything that really like stuck to you?
I think going to NCAAs again was a lot of fun. It was a fun trip with my teammate here, Mac, and the coaches. It was really fun to go for a second time and try and improve on last season. So I think that would be my highlight.
Okay, now this is for everyone. Anyone can start with it once. What has been your longest run this season? And has there been like a negative like hill going down that you had to overcome somehow? And how did you overcome it if there was?
My longest run of the season, I think, so Sunday is our long run day. So I do anywhere from 12 to 14 miles every Sunday of the season. In like the heart of the season, it was more like 14, but like if it was a race week, I'd do 12. And yeah, there's definitely, especially in August when it's really hot and like some days it was like 95 degrees, I would say that it's really difficult to keep, like when you're at mile 10 and you still have 4 to go, there's some difficult moments there, but I think just keeping, like Max said, keeping the rest of the season in mind, and you want to be in really good shape when you get to racing season, so just thinking of those races helps you push through.
Is there anything that you do to overcome?
Yeah, for me, it's just the same. We sit down with our coach at the start of every season, and he lets us set the goals that we want to achieve. And so for me, it's just keeping in the back of my mind that I really want to achieve those goals. When things get hard, it's like, it's kind of like a do or die mentality. Like I really want to achieve my goals, so training's just like the easy part at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think also just to piggyback off that a little bit, my dad always said like hill's your best friend, because that's when the going kind of gets tough, and both in a metaphorical and physical sense. Either way, like that's when competitors start dropping out and facing adversity, and if you're able to keep going and keep going strong, that's kind of when you're able to separate yourself as well.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned how your coach made you like set personal goals. What was your guys' personal goal, and did you achieve it this season?
Yeah, my goals were to make the NCAA meet again. So making that was a big goal of mine. It's kind of hard to achieve those goals because you don't know who's going to show up on the day. And so another one of our goals was, as a team especially, was to do everything that we could to show up on the line at regionals to run our best race. And I think a lot of us did that. So I think that's something that we were really proud of at the end of the season, regardless of how the results went for everyone.
And then as a team, as a whole, how do you guys stay motivated, like as a team?
As these guys have been saying, like we have individual goals meeting with the coaches, and we also have like a team goal meeting as well. So I think that it's usually like right in the beginning when we get here for preseason, and we set, and the coaches don't give us goals that they think we can achieve. It's more of like a conversation among the student athletes on the team of what goals we want to accomplish and what we're going to do to work towards those goals. So I think that after we set our team goals, we know that like that's something that we decided that we think we can do and we are able to accomplish, and then we hold each other accountable throughout the rest of the season.
And then speaking for like other D1 schools, do you think like how you guys create goals, which I think is great, do you think every school should like have some sort of like goal plan going into their season to help them succeed?
Yeah, I think so. Just from my knowledge of other NCAA schools, some coaches maybe achieve goals that might be unrealistic for the team that they have, and it just makes it a lot more of a stressful and maybe toxic environment. So I think by our coach letting us achieve our goals, it allows us to think for ourselves, I guess, and also hold each other accountable, like Christine said.
Well, again, amazing season you all had, and I wish you the best of luck at track season. Thank you so much for talking to me today. And now we're going to go back to Megan and Charlie.
We're going to take one more quick break, but when we come back, we have all of this week's upcoming games. Stay tuned. Done.
Did you know that listening to music, enjoying art, or simply holding hands can boost your cognition? Trying new foods, making friends, and being curious helps too. Just like me, you want to maintain your brain health for as long as possible. I'd like to share with you insights that can make a difference. I'm Kevin Jameson, President of the Dementia Society of America. I'm excited to offer you our free guide. Inside, you'll find 10 building blocks to better brain health, along with facts about dementia, care planning, and how experts make a diagnosis. You'll learn what dementia is and isn't. The Dementia Society of America is a nonprofit organization, and we are ready to answer your questions. Get your free copy of the guide by visiting 1-800-DEMENTIA.org or by calling 1-800-DEMENTIA. You want to live life to the fullest? I do too, and I'm confident that our free guide can help.
Welcome back. We've got another week of LaSalle sports coming up, so here's what you have to look forward to. The men's basketball team will compete in the first annual Big Five Classic at the Wells Fargo Center this Saturday. After their loss to Temple on Wednesday, the Explorers will take on the Penn Quakers to determine the third-place team in the Big Five. They will then take on Loyola Maryland at home on Wednesday, December 6th.
The women's basketball team will take on Virginia at home on Sunday, December 3rd at 1 p.m., and they will then travel to Rutgers to take on the Scarlet Knights on Tuesday, December 5th at 7 p.m.
All right, so it's officially just basketball season for us. We always get to that point in the year where it's really just all about basketball, but I'm very excited for this Big Five Classic on Saturday. All the Big Five schools, well, 6 of them in total, all the Philly schools, and I'm very, very excited to see the matchups and how it all turns out.
Absolutely. I'll be grabbing my tickets tomorrow. I'm heading down to see them. Again, yeah, if they had won that game last night, they would have been in competition for the first seed. They lost. They have the chance to be the third seed, which in this Big Five is nothing, not too shabby for the Explorers. So we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the outcome. And that just about wraps it up for this week. If you can't make it out to see the Explorers play, be sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalle TV and on Instagram at SportsLine LTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions there.
For our entire SportsLine team, I'm Megan Cooney.
And I'm Charlie Hugg. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the game.